What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Talk That Talk. So we have to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, the reunion. It was really good. So as you guys know, Carlos King basically created the show, produces the show, and he decided to host it. Now, when they started the reunion off, basically like sharing that Carlos King was going to host the reunion, I didn't feel the way about it at all. I was like, okay. But I said, how is this going to work? Because he's so involved in the show. Like, is it going to give what it was supposed to give since he's so involved in all moving parts? Because there is like a benefit of having like somebody on the outside of the show, like asking the questions that the viewers would want to know. But after watching it, I think Carlos is doing an amazing job, and he's really like getting into making everybody answer, because he already knows pretty much, I would say, a good majority of the answers that of the answers to the questions that he's asking. So if somebody's holding back, he's gonna put them, on the spot, and I actually like that. So we found out a lot of tea. Okay, so let's get right into it. All right, so let's talk about the outfits. Okay, I think as far as the women, Melody is best dressed. I haven't seen Destiny or Tiffany yet, or anybody else, but as far as the part one, Melody's best dressed and Kimmy's right behind her. They both look really great. I didn't like Tisha's hair, and I didn't like her dress. And I've seen Tisha look so pretty, and like other hairstyles look so nice on her. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I don't know if it's meant to be like a little hump in the back or whatever, but like the dress, really, I felt like the dress was like, it's not an ugly dress. I just felt like the color and the fur and stuff, it was just like too much. I feel like, you know what I mean? I've seen her do a lot better, so I was like, dang Tisha. But I think Melody was best dressed, and the guys look good. So they start off basically showing the throwback of the show and how it started, because there was a big gap when COVID happened and whatever. So they started asking, like, do you regret doing the show? And Martell basically says that he regrets doing the show because he feels that he would still be married if he didn't do the show. And he also said that he did the show because Melody wanted to be on TV. So, and you can see Melody wanting to jump on in and like say, no, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. But he basically thinks he would still be married, and he did this for Melody. And Carlos is like, did you do this for Melody to help push like the Melody brand? Do you feel like you created the Melody brand? And he said he feel like he added to it or whatever. I don't understand why Martell wants to take so much credit for the Melody brand and like everything that she's doing. I don't understand why he wants to take so much credit. Like, that's your wife, whatever she wants to do, you were in support of it, which is great to have that kind of support. But that doesn't mean because y'all fell out, now you got to go run back and try to take credit of everything. You were supportive. You helped pitch a TV show idea that's successful now. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Like, there's no need to feel like you have to like, oh, well, I did this and I did that and this is mine. I get 50% of that. There's no need for all of that. So then they move on to Kimmy and Maurice. They had to address the side chick thing. And we got like more of a timeline with this side chick thing. So Maurice filed, and Kyle got served the papers, whatever. He said he moved out from living with Kyle. He wasn't living with Kyle for like a year, and then he met Kimmy. Okay? So he said he was moved out of her house for a year before he met Kimmy. And Kimmy clarified and said, Kyle never said I was a side chick. Kyle said I intervened. So if you guys are broken up or you're filing, the paper is signed, and he's moved out, it's been a year, and then he meets however many women in between that, and then he meets Kimmy, and then he gets serious with Kimmy. How is that being a side chick? Y'all comment down below. I really don't think that's being a side chick, and I really wanted to see what Tisha was going to say when Carlos asked her about it, because I really low-key think that I think Tisha loves Kimmy, but I think that her and Kyle were probably really cool when Maurice was married to her. But she said, you know, she doesn't believe that Kimmy was a side chick. She doesn't believe it. You know, she's like, I don't know the timeline. But that's like a half behind answer, because it's not like you're like, oh, I'm sticking up for Kimmy, she's not a side chick. Even if you don't, like, if that's like your friend or the person you got their back, you don't need all the details. You don't need the timeline, because if your friend says, hey, I'm not a side chick, I didn't get with him while he was married, that's all the confirmation you need if that's your friend. So I think Tisha kind of took the easy way out and said, I don't know the timeline, but I don't believe it. Just say that she wasn't a side chick. You know, is there any harm in saying that? Why do you have to say you don't know the timeline? You know, that just shows that you don't take her word for it, which I'm sure Kimmy didn't appreciate. But hey. Now, we get to Melody breaking down the timeline, because Carlos is like, okay, so before the pandemic happened, you guys were getting back together, and y'all had the baby, y'all had Milani. What happened after that, and we get back recording the show and y'all are done, like filing for divorce, done. So Melody breaks down that timeline, and you know, she goes, yeah, we were working things out, getting things back together, pandemic happened, and Martell, while everything's on shutdown, our business is shut down, our clients, we can't do nothing, everybody's in the house, ain't nothing to do, nowhere to go. Martell is leaving the house for hours, and it's making her suspicious that he's out there doing something he shouldn't be doing, cheating. Then his phone starts going off. She answers it, and somebody hangs up, and then the girl finally answers and talks to Melanie and said, I'm calling Martell's phone, not your phone. Why are you answering? So then she had her answer that Martell is seeing some other girl or whatever. And Martell was trying to say, yeah, I was going to the gym. And Carlos was like, the gyms were closed. And he's like, well, mine wasn't. My gym was closed during COVID. So I don't know what gym he was going to, but I think he was working out something else, and it wasn't at the gym. So Martell still couldn't take any accountability for that. You know what I mean? So it's like, you cheated. Like, just say you were out cheating. You know, why can't you just say it? The whole world knows you have a baby with this lady now, you know? What's the big deal? So basically that happened when she just gave birth to Milani. So then Carlos had to break it down and say, you know, we're in a pandemic. You and your wife are trying to reconcile. She just had a baby. You step out on her during a pandemic when all these people are dying and all this other stuff, and you're supposed to be staying in the house to protect yourself, your family, and everybody else, and you're stepping out, leaving the house to go do whoever with your side chick. You know, and he's like, well, when you put it that way. But of course Martell has to spin it and say, well, I think Melody and Marceau had something going on. Because this came up, in the season. It comes up on social media. So basically they break that down. And apparently Mel and Martell, they got into a big fight when Martell's phone was ringing and a blocked number kept calling. It was the side chick. And basically they was going back and forth. Mel's mom called Marcel and said, hey, can you come in and calm this situation down? It's going crazy. He couldn't get in contact with Martell, so he got in contact with Mel. He met up with Mel by the Chick-fil-A, talked to her, calmed her down and stuff like that. Right? But Martell is saying that Marceau was saying like, oh, Mel, let's go grab a drink or whatever and talk and stuff. And he doesn't think that's appropriate to be doing to somebody else's wife. Honestly, I would have to agree. I've never had a friend of my fiance's or whatever say, hey, Tanaya, let's go get a drink. I've never had that happen. And if somebody did ask me, I would think that it's strange and inappropriate unless my fiance is with me, right? And they shouldn't be asking me directly. Now, there was this fighting going on, all the other stuff. So I guess he said, oh, let's go have a drink, let's talk about it, whatever. Because even Tisha was like, oh, when did Marcel ask you to get drinks? So even she would think that would be completely inappropriate. And he said it. He danced around it, but he did admit that he did ask her, oh, maybe you can get a drink at the bar and go talk and calm down or whatever. To him, it didn't seem like a big deal. And And from his perspective, he's not trying to get at Mel, so it doesn't really seem like a big thing. You know, like, let's talk about what's going on with you and Martell. Let's have a drink. Let's relax. And, you know, he doesn't see it as a big thing because he would never come at Melody in a romantic way. But to some people, that would seem very inappropriate. So I understand that. But Martell, I feel like Martell just be willing to accuse any and everybody of, oh, you was with Mel, you was with Mel, you were with Mel, you did this to Mel, Mel, you cheated this, you did that, you did this, da da da. But not everything he says is wrong, because then we get into addressing if Melody cheated on Martell while they were married, okay? Martell has been saying this for a while, that she stepped out too, and da-da-da-da-da, and basically, based on Mel's response during the filming of the show and what we saw, it was like, what are you talking about? No, I didn't. Like, you know, like Melody is not the cheater, it's only Martell, right? So then she admits that she got fellatio from somebody in 2017 when she moved out and left, and I guess, you know, she left Martell at that time, found out he was cheating, left him. They eventually, you know, got back together and trying to work things out, because this was actually before the show even started. So she admits that she got fellatio from somebody, and she said she didn't remember if she gave him fellatio, but Martell said he has a recording of her admitting that she gave fellatio to somebody else. And I like that Carlos called Mel out and said, I think you would remember if you put your mouth on something. So you saying you don't remember really is unbelievable. And it is, because anybody would remember what they did or did not do with somebody romantically. So I would think that's something that you would remember. So anyway, she's claiming she doesn't remember, but she's going to say no, she didn't do anything. She just got that type of thing received to her. And Martell's saying he didn't know anything about that. But basically it proves a point that she was lying about, you know, actually being with somebody else while they were still legally married. So he got to prove his point there. And then we ended the whole thing with Carlos asking Martell, you know, because he's like, a lot of people are calling the girl that you're with, Arian, like she's just like, you know, a side chick, you know, just some girl you go have fun with at night and then you go back home to your wife, but you're still with this girl. This girl has a hold on you, and she does not seem like just a side chick. This seems like somebody you are in love with. And he asked him, would you have married her if you met this girl before Melody? And he took forever to answer. Of course, we didn't see the answer. They're going to play it in the next part. But I feel like Martell took a long pause because he's being very strategic with how he's going to answer. I mean, think about it. If he says, yes, I would marry Arian if I met her before Melody, he doesn't want to upset Melody because he still loves Melody, and I think he would still want to be with her and still have his family, okay? And he also probably doesn't want to say no, I wouldn't marry Arian, because he cares about Arian. It's like he, you know that saying, damned if you do, damned if you don't? Like, he's in the middle, you know? He's in the middle of it, and he doesn't know, okay, do I answer it this way and just take the heat from Melody, or do I answer it this way and then I go home and take the heat from Arian? Like, which girl I want to get upset at this point, you know? But I think Martell should just really be honest, just be honest about how you feel, no matter who is going to upset, and just understand that you're never going to get Melody back. Despite how happy it would make the kids and the family be together, you're not going to get her back. So stop worrying about, stop creating more lies, because that's just going to piss her off. But I thought this reunion was really, really good. I'm excited to see the next part of everything, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.